Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am back from my weekend down the south coast and was not necessarily going to make a video today, but I get all these Google alerts about different phrases that I've requested, to receive news articles on it, like eating disorder recovery, anorexia, bulimia, OSFED, etc. So at the end of the day, I get all of these emails in my Gmail letting me know whether or not what we talk about is being spoken about out there in the press. And there was an email this morning about Alexis Ren, an Instagram famous star. She's got over 9 million followers on Instagram. I guess you would call her a model in a sense if you had to encapsulate what she does on there. She is 20. She is incredibly famous and quite wealthy and successful off the back of that social media platform and basically being a conventionally very attractive, very physically fit, appealing individual. She is someone who is revered by very young women for the most part, even though many would think it would probably be a bunch of dudes who, and I have no doubt that's the case as well, but there are many young women who you'll see all over her social media feeds with the hashtag that makes me the saddest and wants to tear my hair out, hashtag goals, drives me crazy. So Alexis Ren is only 20. She's been doing this for quite a few years now. And she has come out to the press and admitted that she has suffered from an eating disorder for several years. So if you do the maths there, if she, as she considers herself now to be in recovery, it's probably been for the majority of her time out there on social media, having this amazing career and all these opportunities based off what she looks like and how she presents herself on social media. She's been suffering from something that we all know is pretty much like the 7th level of hell. And my background here with Alexis Ren is I came across her, it would have been probably like 2 years ago now. And as I say to you guys all the time, I've built up a pretty resilient external shell in terms of what I allow to permeate my exterior with, images that I see or that outside pressure to look a certain way or be a certain way. And everything we see on social media, the Alexis Rens of the world just coming at us with, this is what you're meant to look like. I'm pretty good at batting that away these days, but this was a couple of years ago. And Alexis Ren, for some reason, was popping up in my comments. There were some subscribers who were talking about Alexis Ren, and I was like, who is this? Which clearly means I was getting close to being over the hill at that point because I had no idea who she was. So I looked her up, and even I, going through her Instagram feed, was just like, holy shit. This girl she just couldn't have any problems, which unrealistic, untrue, clearly. And I know better, but I still looked at this feed of her gorgeous life and all this amazing travel that she does and her gorgeous partner and these beautiful shots that looked so natural and effortless and like, oh, so candid, where there were probably 6,000 photos to get to that one, because we all know that's the mechanism behind social media, is perfecting the flawless but natural and candid shot, which is never candid. And even I was looking through this feed thinking, this girl is living one hell of a charmed life, and she's physically, conventionally stunning and just looks really naturally fit and healthy. And I was having these thoughts, wasn't really using it to beat myself up, but having these ridiculous social media associated thoughts, which, you just are eating up what they're trying to sell you, even though it's not true. And I remember thinking, I truly remember this, I remember where I was in my bedroom at my old apartment in Bellevue Hill, and thinking to myself, practice what you preach, Mia. You have no idea based on somebody's physical appearance, whether they're healthy or they're happy. It doesn't work like that. You know better. And I actually thought to myself, gosh, this poor girl, millions of followers who are sort of eating up this idea that her life is as perfect and immaculate and flawless as her feed shows. So I say this a lot, I'm always thrilled when celebrities or people with a platform come out and talk about their eating disorder, not because I would ever wish this experience on anyone, but because it's so important to show that this illness doesn't discriminate. Doesn't matter how much money you have, how wealthy you are, how loved you are, or amazing your partner is, or the fact you get to travel. It doesn't mean that you are not susceptible to this. In fact, for somebody like Alexis Ren, perhaps even more so, because she is basically, she has a career which is pinned to her looks and her maintaining this I guess, standard of living, which is exceptionally high and unrealistic and quite, it's a fantasy. She's projecting a fantasy, which clearly she has not been living. And like I said, it's really important when celebrities and high profile people come out and tell us that they've suffered with this, but it's even more important, I think, with somebody as Insta famous and influential as this, as someone who would scroll through their comments and see hashtag goals every 2 effing seconds from girls so young and so impressionable who are basically using her and her feed to compare themselves to and always coming up short. Because even Alexis Ren is coming up short compared to what Alexis Ren's life is supposed to be. So I give her such huge kudos. That is so incredibly brave to come out and shatter the illusion and say, what I've been projecting, what I've been showing is not necessarily the whole story or even accurate. And she really accurately describes what an eating disorder is like, and said, I have nothing to hide, which she absolutely doesn't. And every time somebody of this, you know, level of exposure comes out and says, I'm not going to be ashamed, that gives us license, certainly, to come out in our personal lives and expose and be vulnerable with what we're suffering from. If people at this level can, you know, peel shame's clammy hand off their mouth and talk about it. She was also pressured by her agency, her modeling agency, to lose weight. Not uncommon. She said, I was my worst critic ever. The only sense of relief I had was to be able to monitor my eating and my workouts. It was a vicious cycle where when I did eat, I just felt worse. So I didn't want to eat and ate less and less and less. I was scared of food. If that isn't just the truest... I'm sorry, the dog is barking, and again, I don't care. I'm just gonna soldier through because it is friggin' 5:15 on a Sunday night. I think that is such an accurate and very, very common spiral down into eating disorders. And then with this immense pressure that she's been under to pretend that she is not in hell and not sick and not suffering from an eating disorder. And very sadly, guys, a lot of survivors, even, you know, people who I've spoken to who will talk to me privately about their eating disorders, will not talk publicly about it because the shame, they're still ashamed even when they're recovered or in recovery. So the shame permeates right through out of the illness with a lot of people. And that's why it's so hard to find survivors who will get through it and then talk about it. And I don't want to judge anyone for not doing it. That's everyone's personal. I just spat everywhere. That's everyone's personal choice with what they're comfortable with what's appropriate for them. And because there is such a huge mental health stigma generally, I totally understand it. But I personally feel that I have an obligation to the people who are coming behind me to shine a bit of a light or be a bit of a soft place to land, or just somewhere where they feel safe to come and talk, like on our forum. So I think it's incredible. Like Zayn Malik came out, that's a male superstar who came out a couple of months ago, which I mentioned on my Facebook page, as I did with Alexis Ren, talking about his eating disorder, knowing that there is a stigma even more so for men. So kudos to all of these brave young people who are subject to so much ridicule, even without having to expose their mental illness. I think it does us all a great service, and gives us all an opportunity to talk about our own issues, hopefully with people who can help us, because if these people are idolized by a whole lot of young people who want to be like them, then hopefully they'll want to be like them in the sense that they will own up to what's going on and hopefully get on the right path to doing whatever they can to fix it. So guys, next weekend is the Body Freedom Workshop, which you can get tickets to in the link below, and you can use the discount code BF5. It's going to be amazing. I know that there's a few of you coming and I'm so excited to meet you and have a chat. That is mind-blowing that that's going to happen, but it's going to be amazing. The first session will be about body image and is there any such thing as the perfect body. The next one will be about gut health and nutrition, and the third one will be about being your own wellness and health coach. And I'm very, and there's an amazing goodie bag as well. There's awesome sponsors who are throwing their stuff in a goodie bag for you to take away. Guys, I'm gonna go. I've got a big week ahead of me, but I will be checking in with you with at least one video next week. It's just a hectic week, so bear with me. And yeah, I'll see you guys very, very soon. Come and find me on Instagram and Twitter under What Mia Did Next. I'm under that on Snapchat as well. Come and join the forum. We're about 650 strong now, which is amazing, and it's just the most amazing, supportive, wonderful community. You guys are, I can't keep talking about how amazed I am because it's probably getting a bit old, but truly every time I log in there, I'm just like, this is one of the coolest things ever. So come and join that if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Much love, take care, bye.